Welcome to our Common Sense channel. Today's topic is lessons I learned from Tony Robbins about cancer. Now, Devon Morgan is a writer and researcher. Two of his books are Demystifying Cancer, Exposing the Deception of the No-Cure for Cancer, and the World Common Sense Challenges. They are available on Amazon, Barnes& and Noble, or directly using the email in the description. So, greetings, Brother Devon.
Oh, yes, greetings, Brother Taraka.
How did you become interested in this subject?
Yes, I bought a set of live health seminar tapes by Anthony Robbins about 20 years ago called Living Health. In it, he mentioned a doctor named Otto Warburg and talked about his research in 1924 that revealed the root cause of cancer. Dr. Warburg discovered that insufficient oxygen to our cells is the root cause of cancer, our starting point, or the starting point of the process that leads to cancer. He received a Nobel Prize for his findings. Now, generally speaking, once we know the root cause of a problem, and this includes a scientific problem, we know how to find the solutions. The solution.
Mm. People might say that the knowledge about human biology was not very advanced then, and maybe Dr. Warburg findings were not accurate.
Well, yeah, that sounds like a reasonable assumption to make, except for two things. We should expect that the organizations entrusted to find the cure for cancer would be aware of Dr. Warburg's experiment and findings, since it was not a secret. Now, since every problem is solved by first identifying the root, it should be expected that they would be researching the same thing he did, the root cause of the disease. And therefore, they would have revisited Dr. Warburg's finding and tested it decades ago when they started the pharmaceutical industry. Now, they never did.
Hmm. How do you know this?
Well, it is obvious once we know a bit about the history of the current pharmaceutical industry. Natural remedies are the oldest form of medicine and are about 60,000 years old. And up to the early 1900s, it was the main treatment for any ailment. This started to change when big money came in and transformed medicine into a global money-making enterprise based on drug medicine. Now, Dr. Warburg's discovery coincided with the growth of this new drug industry, and they had no interest in what they eventually got us to regard as alternative medicine. This would explain why Dr. Warburg's discovery was never pursued. The video I will now play will reveal the hostility the new industry had towards natural remedies.
Around the same time that John D. Rockefeller seized U.S. media, he also hijacked U.S. medicine. When it was discovered that drugs could be produced from petroleum, America's top oil mogul ordered his army of propagandists to invert reality accordingly. Medicines used for thousands of years were suddenly classified as alternative, while the new, petroleum-based, highly addictive, and patentable drugs were declared the gold standard. After buying a German pharmaceutical company that manufactured chemicals of war, Rockefeller leveraged his political influence by pressing Congress to declare natural healing modalities unscientific quackery. Rockefeller then took control of the American Medical Association and began offering massive grants to top medical schools under the mandate that only his approved curriculum be taught. Any mention of the healing powers of herbs, plants, and diet was erased from most medical texts.
Based on what's been said, the new industry had a fixation on drug remedies.
Yes, they did and still do. This fixation is based on a major reason drug medicine is so lucrative. It's based on a system that enables drugs to be patented, which means that they own the right to the drug. They are the owner who can sell it. A drug can only be patented if it is a unique combination of synthetic material. Another reason why patented drugs is so powerful is that if they are able to do what they do now actually, which is sell it to the entire world, then it's a major money spinner. Right. So I was saying that drug can only be patented if it is a unique combination of synthetic material. This means natural substances cannot be patented. Those who control the industry as that uses patentable drugs and also do the research, make the drugs, and own the patent have the means to make extraordinary sums of money, especially if they can sell it to the entire world, because the entire world have bought into this type of medicine. Now, a major bit of information I discovered confirmed that the current system is not flexible enough to accommodate any other approach to solving the problem. Now, in 2009, Cancer Research UK did a research and experiment that demonstrated that Dr. Warburg's conclusion of the root cause of cancer was accurate. Not only did their experiment and confirm that Dr. Warburg's conclusion was accurate, it also demonstrated that cancer in many locations can be reversed without destructive chemotherapy. Here are some brief common sense points to ponder. These are just some clues for our audience to arrive at their own conclusion. For death to occur, a vital organ that we cannot live without has to be destroyed. Right? Makes sense? We can live without our prostate and our breasts. This makes sense because they can cut them out and throw them away. So we can live without them. The cancer has to migrate to a vital organ for death to occur. Clue again. Yet another clue. Cancer in these locations is not unique. So why the emphasis on these or any location? That is your homework. The experiment demonstrated that the location of cancer cells is relevant. Cancer cells in all locations responded positively to oxygen. And despite this finding, nothing has changed. Chemotherapy is still the #1 treatment.
This definitely confirms that the system does not intend to change.
Yes, the entire trillion-dollar industry is based on producing drugs, and they're not going to give that up for anybody. This next video will draw attention to a question that the industry should be asked.
Good afternoon, with Cancer Research UK. This is Hannah speaking. How may I help?
Oh, hi there, Hannah. I just found out to ask some questions. Is that all right? I just wanted to.
Of course.
Yeah. I'm just wondering what cancer research is actually researching.
So, well, there's a variety of things we do research. We research like all different types of cancer. Depending on the kind of need at the time and depending where the research is most needed, depends on often what we fundraise to research.
Right. I understand that, but I'm wondering why we haven't found a cure yet. Because I mean, I've been doing. I've done some googling on you not that long ago, and where is it? I'm trying to think now. I mean, you first started off, didn't you, as the Imperial Cancer Research Fund, ICRF, and I mean that was going back 115 years ago.
Yeah.
And what, you haven't found a cure yet?
As you have heard, Cancer Research UK has been researching cancer for over 100 years, and yet the experiment they did that proved that Dr. Warburg's findings were accurate was described as, quote, a very exciting breakthrough. It is as if they were never aware of Dr. Warburg's work, which is not likely. The fact that chemotherapy that kills good and bad cells remains the #1 treatment after 90 years is a demonstration of how inflexible the system is. Now, if you happen to think that cancer is complicated and that it's reasonable that after 100 years they haven't found a cure, a question for you to ponder. Do you think it's reasonable that chemotherapy is still #1 after 90 years? Even though it causes hair to fall out and some people to even lose their dentures, their teeth, which is what happens. Now, please consider what this doctor is saying about chemotherapy in the next video.
Doctor, can we talk about cancer a little bit? Various types out there. What are some of the things that you've seen in terms of your patients, and what some of the things that you've been able to do?
A better thing to talk about in relationship to, well, I will talk about that, right? A better thing to talk about, however, is the relationship between profits and cancer. in the United States. There was a study that was published, I believe it was in 1994. It was a 12-year program, 12-year study. They looked at adults who had developed cancer as an adult, not childhood cancer, but adult cancer, right? And this is the main types of cancer that we get here in the United States. They did a meta-analysis of these people all around the world who developed cancer as adults for 12 years and were treated with chemo. And they looked at the results. And they published the results in the Journal of Clinical Oncology. And the results, 97% of the time, chemotherapy does not work. 97% of the time it doesn't work. So why is it still used? It's one reason and one reason only: money. If you go to a medical doctor, an MD, with a sinus infection, and that doctor prescribes an antibiotic, he gets no financial kickback. Now, if he prescribes 5,000, of that antibiotic in 1 month, the drug company that makes it might send him to Cancun for a conference, right? But he gets no direct remuneration. It's not with chemotherapeutic drugs, it's different. Chemotherapeutic drugs are the only classification of drugs that the prescribing doctor gets a direct cut of. So if your doctor prescribes chemotherapy for you, here's how it goes, more or less. The doctor buys it from the pharmaceutical company for $5,000, sells it to the patient for $12,000, insurance pays $9,000, and the doctor pockets the $4,000 difference. And there ought to be a law. The only reason chemotherapy is used is because doctors make money from it. Period. It doesn't work 97% of the time. If Ford Motor Company made an automobile that exploded 97% of the time, would they still be in business? No. This is the tip of the iceberg of the control that the pharmaceutical industry has on us. Most people have no idea of this at all. Now, I wrote a book. It's called The MD Emperor Has No Clothes, right? In my book, I have a bulleted list of 10 questions that every cancer patient should ask their doctor. 10 questions. I've had patients kicked out, literally, kicked out of the oncologist's office because the doctor was PO'd that the patient was asking him these questions. And these are just common sense questions. Cancer treatment in the United States, we have lost the war on cancer. We have lost the war on cancer. Why? Because cancer is not a reductionistic phenomenon. Cancer is a holistic phenomenon. And when you try to bring a reductionistic methodology like drugs and surgery to bear on a holistic phenomenon, you will completely miss the boat each and every time. You cannot do it. Medical doctors are like colorblind art critics. They can see that that's a boat. They can see the black and white outline, but they're completely blind to all of the colors and textures that make up the substance of the thing. It's no difference with cancer. The reason that people get cancer in the United States and the reason that we have completely lousy outcomes is because medical doctors are driving the research bus. When women get together and do a 5K run for breast cancer, all of that money, do you think any of that money goes to nutritional research? Do you think any of that money goes to homeopathic research or acupuncture or traditional Chinese medicine or naturopathic research? No. All of it goes to drugs and surgery, which do not work.
The system seems to be set in stones. How can change occur?
It will only change if significant numbers of us become knowledgeable on this subject and therefore can avoid the disease. And if we do get it, we can solve it without destructive drugs. This is a chance for our audience to join the Save a Life campaign by buying the book and reading it. If you're not into reading, you can get it for a friend or family member to read. At least one of your friends or family should have the knowledge about this. The life you save could be your own. No one should die from this disease unless it's at a point of no return. The prediction for the rise in cancer cases is alarming. It It was estimated that there were 18.1 million new cases of cancer worldwide in 2020. It is predicted there will be 28 million new cases worldwide each year by 2040. That should alarm any of us. We all know somebody who's had it. It could be a friend, a family. We all been touched by this disease. We should be alarmed. They are not getting anywhere in trying to fix this problem. Now, join the Save a Life campaign. Get the book.
So that's all, folks. So until next time, please like, share, and don't forget to leave a comment.
Yes, folks, help us grow the channel by subscribing and ring the notification bell, like the video, share it, and share it and share it and share it. This video needs to go viral. Thank you very much, and I will see you next week.